school has a wonderful legacy. It's 68 years old, added to the Parish Church on the corner of 56th and El Cajon in 1947, and we are looking forward to our sustainability. So we celebrate a thriving 70th birthday in fall of 2017 as we launch our birthday logo next year. So part of our sustainability is to get that enrollment currently that hovers around 150 down to 135 and back up again. And with preschool, Megan, where are we right now? Close to?
About 40.
Yeah, so we're right in there at about 160, and in its heyday, Blessed Sacrament had 450 students, a waiting list, and money to burn. Now, we are challenged by a parish of 1,200 families, a wonderful neighborhood that Redfin, the real estate company in Canada, and NBC News ranked in January as the #1 hot real estate market in the United States of America, and we're going to promote the heck out of that this year and next year. And also the demographics of a wonderfully diverse neighborhood that is economically challenged. We do have a lot of military and corporate families that move in and out. And I will share with you the inside information that my parents learned because we're going to the truth. 50% of our population is struggling to pay the tuition. And as a result of that, the school has been sustaining a lot of education without the partnership to full potential. And that is the reason we are economically challenged as well as our enrollment. So sustainability for us means that we've got to restructure. And that's what we are in process of doing. We are first restructuring who we are. We lead by example. It is our vision for the future of sustainability. And the call by the bishop yesterday at the principals meeting was very inspiring to me, and I brought it back to my staff at our staff meeting Wednesday afternoon. We are stewards, and we are stewards of not just our church and the earth, but we are stewards of the gospel values. And we need to take care of ourselves first so we can take care of others, and therefore take care of our communities and the earth that we occupy. And with that, our Catholic mission then is our statement. We are self-aware individuals at Blessed Sacrament who proclaim the gospel values through service, leadership, and academic learning as we prepare to interact with our world as problem solvers and people of action. And that's why we're participating in the Sustainability Circle. Even though we don't have grand plans, as you're going to see in our presentation this afternoon, but we've got mighty dreams, and we've got a legacy of 68 years behind us and a future of 68 more. And the best community in the #1 hot real estate market in America. And when you have all that going for you, you've got to take control of that and really drive your future forward. So this is how we're going to do it. We define sustainability a little bit differently than everybody else, and when asked to participate, we all said, and Megan advised me, are you sure we want to do this? We're having troubles just keeping the door open, let alone conserving and preserving and looking at how we're going to recycle better. But we took on the challenge because that's what we're about. And so sustainability for us means #1, leading by example so we can sustain our lifelong presence to improve our parish community, our neighborhood community, and our greater San Diego community. And we're doing that by establishing and maintaining fiscal stability by restructuring our business plan first and foremost, and then taking advantage of our #1 resource, which is our human resource, the people that are the most wonderful people and the capabilities that they all have. And you can read the rest of the list down there, but our buildings and grounds, we don't have a sustainable budget. We don't have a sustainable plan. What we have is a history of deferred maintenance, and somebody will take care of that eventually. That doesn't work. So we're recognizing past failures, and we're meeting them head on by creating new plans for business operations. We're taking action, and the first action is expanding our curb appeal and our visibility, and Tom will go into the plans for that in a few minutes, and then conserving the resources resources that we do have by saving our costs, by taking advantage of partnerships wherever possible. Kim came in this summer as I was brand new. I think in week 1, I landed, and there's Kim, and she's going through, and we replaced all of our light bulbs, and so we started the year off well, saving money on our SDG&E bills. And so here's our quick priority list. So we decided not to go big goals. We want to integrate our vision and mission with the goals for our participation in this circle. And so our top 3, number 1 is to remedy our fiscal condition that cannot be sustained. It is a failed plan, and so we're making that, we're improving that. And we need to sustain our future with a better business model. Our financial stability is going to be enhanced by creating that model, but also working with the families that are currently economically challenged and have some enabled behavior of not being able to manage their family budget. So we bring in education teams. I had a budget meeting we did a presentation for family budgeting. And I had one family show up, but we're going to try again and again and again, and pretty soon I think that's going to help the families that want to stay around. And the third thing is we do have to come up with a plan for our long-term stability that can be sustained, but right now it's in the planning stages. So we can share with you our progress today, and we're proud to do that. And at this point, if I'm correct, do I turn that over to Tom? I do.
I think so. Well, thank you very much. So it is a pleasure being here and a part of this whole process with Ann and the rest of the team. And Megan, it's been a really pleasure to work with. It's really funny because unbeknownst to either one of us, I think it's your brother-in-law, that he and I went to school together in high school down in southern Chula Vista. It's not a name that you would recognize all that easily. It was really a pleasure listening earlier today. I was telling Ann and Megan earlier that years ago I used to be a springboard diver for a high school team and junior high team. And you've got the single platform right at the pool level, the mid section, which is what, 5 meters or so, and then the high platform around 10 meters. And I'm seeing everybody's discussions, and they're up about between the 5 and 10 meter board, and here we are at the really springboard level, the very first one. So we're gonna we've done a lot of stuff for a school that's been around and a parish community for 68 years and longer. Our original church was moved off site and is now a Good Body Mortuary. So we've had a sustainable plant for a while. But it's just been really tough in the last, actually 10 years. It's been really a lot of enabling going on. So we have some long-term stability steps that we want to take. And first one is we really want to take advantage of partnering with our resources around us. SDG&E has been a good one. We are planning on doing the energy survey. I've got the paperwork to turn into Kimberly as soon as we can. That's really going to give us like a data-driven basis for what to do next, because we have a lot of good ideas. But really this ASHRAE level survey, I think Jim was mentioning how they partnered with the Center for Sustainable Energy. I've used them on a lot of things. My job in my public office is reconstruction, construction of schools, finding financing, and we've used CCSC on them many times. They're a great resource. There's not that many resources available to us. So I want to thank SDG&E for actually providing that available. So that's going to be one of our number 1 steps, is get that going. Big long-term ability, we want to recapture our fiscal savings. That was said earlier by other people. Setting our benchmark, seeing where we can go, and then actually budgeting that savings when it becomes a reality to see how we can then fund that back into establishing a building and grounds fund. We did actually have something before, which was about maybe $6,000 to $7,000 a month from rents on site that made that possible, but that opportunity has gone away with this last, was it about 7-year recession we've just gone out of? Well, we've lost some outsourcing, or some clients that were from overseas that really hurt us financially. And we have about 8,800 square feet of landscaping all around both the parish and the school. We too are looking at just eliminating that and turning it to xeriscape or some other models. So those are our long-term stability things that we can get going. I mentioned the landscape modifications. Pretty low projection here, but I want to keep it low because I think we can easily reduce it by 50%. Obviously more than that, but we want to see how it works for the first few years. We're targeting a 15% energy reduction in utility costs. This is within the first 6 months to 18 months period. And then we really are going to be working on a public awareness campaign, as we've heard with other people. We have some great venues we could do. The PTG, is that what we call them? Okay, parent-teacher group meetings. We will definitely target that. We will be looking at hosting some other large parish meetings, at least 2 per year. And that's how we're going to move this business plan forward. Again, a lot's going to determine on our inventory, on our survey to know what we have and where we're going. Some of our midterm objectives right down here. This is after the first 6 months to 12 months or 2-year period, looking at just building on those increases, looking at an additional 30% reduction, another 15% reduction in our waste. I don't know that we've really measured that yet, but I think we can easily do it. We've seen some things. I know if you haven't been to the SDG Center, Innovation Center, I think you've got some good examples in the back there of how to do this. And so we just need to explore more in our own backyard of what we can do on that. Again, an additional 50% reduction in water over the time. I believe we can actually get to that 85 to 90% water reduction within that 5-year period easily. And then keeping up on that, establishing the buildings and grounds budget. I would like to see that. My other participation is in the Parish Finance Council. And it's always been our goal to do 2 things: set up an ongoing sustainable budget for just facilities renovation and maintenance. We have roof issues, we have window issues, we have other stuff. When we had the Korean schools, international schools with us, that did give us, like I said, about $6,000 a month we were able to feed into that budget. That's all gone, and so now we've taken steps to try to get that going. So we'd like to have at least 1% of our parish value of our parish budget for that target, and then later on move that into a 3% reserve for uncertain economic uncertainties. We have done some really good things so far. First of all, the creation of this team, the sustainability team, has really been worked out, and so we've actually strengthened. It's been since Anna's gotten here, and we've had a big changeover in our structure of the school, how we budget for the future years. But more importantly, we've really enhanced our communication between the parish council, the school advisory board, the pastor, and the principal, and that's going to continue on going along. And very, very important, we've been implementing internal controls within our budgeting department, within our school team, and within the church, so that we don't have, I guess, what we call leakage out in the business world. We're just trying to keep those internal controls going so that we will keep track on where we are. Try to keep the same format as what what our template had provided. So again, this is our 0 to 6 months terms. Looking at the business plan, again, those internal controls I talked about, really working within the maintenance and operations program that we have, and working with our business manager. The diocese has been wonderful in helping out. I think we have someone who's with us on a interim basis, I guess, and looking at possibly some other additions to the parish to help us focus on facilities. We want to definitely develop a conservation awareness program and a community outreach plan. That's almost a done deal. We haven't put the bones together yet, but the pastor is interested in it, Anne is interested in it. I think we can do it, and we've had some history of large group meetings in our parish. Yes, we will have to have some behavior changes and culture changes, definitely engaging the rest of the staff, the school, and there's some, as in all parishes, we have existing cliques, for lack of a better word, existing groups of people that are very valuable, well-intentioned, but they're I've been here long enough, I've seen it, I'm not going to help anymore. I've run into that when I go to try to rewire the church for sound or something, and one guy says, I tried that 20 years ago, I'm getting tired of it. Well, so we take his good input and we work around it. So that's kind of some of our challenges. I won't mention the rest because we've already said that, how we're going to use our ASHRAE level 2 is what we're hoping for, level 1 or 2, looking at some benchmarking, so at least we know where we are to be able to say we started here and we ended up here, or we started here and if we're down here, then we know where we have to go. So this is just a little bit of recap of what I've already said. The biggest thing right down here is one of our biggest goals metrics originally is the energy study, our survey that needs to get done. Community outreach. I'm not going to go into too much detail over that because I think we've already said it. But one of our biggest financial costs, Ann mentioned that our biggest resource is our human resource. One of our biggest costs is how much is our opportunity lost? What by not implementing things earlier, what have we lost? We've definitely lost a lot in terms of things that we could have been doing around the campus. Thank goodness, I was a week ago. What day is it? Thursday? 2 weeks ago. I did a quick survey around the school site. Went into every single classroom, kitchen, and all around, looking at all of our light fixtures, plug loads, and everything else. And it really, thank goodness that SDG has helped us change a lot of our fluorescents out. A lot of our CFLs have been changed out. So we've had some things going, but there's more that we can do. Our HVAC, our new units were put in 2003. That's not too new anymore. And there was one that I saw, 4 of them by the church that were in 1993. And those were new as of 3 years ago to us. So we have a lot that we can do. Windows, definitely. I was looking at Ann's room, and the window glazing is just about cracking off and ready to go. This is our projected savings. These numbers look awfully low, but we were looking, I remember our parish budget, as well as a year ago, being close to $500,000 a year in revenues, expenses, and so forth. But Ann and I were looking at the most recent numbers, just specific for energy waste disposal, and this is annual cost savings, $1,200. That meets those percentages I talked about earlier. I think we're going to have to revisit those numbers to see if it's real. I know we can hit those targets, percentages, but those look like they're awfully low. We just have to see where we are later. Reporting, metrics and evaluation. Well, we're going to be doing a lot of the reports as we come back to see, once we develop our action plan, further refine it, I should say, we're able to say, okay, this is what we're going to look for, this is how we're going to measure it back. And we plan on reporting back to Parents Finance Council at least twice a year, School Advisory Board at least once a year. Our parish, like many of yours probably has, we have an annual evaluation every year with the budget in front of the whole parish with all the different masses, and it's all spelled out. We can easily incorporate what we're doing into that plan. Again, our financial plan needs to be, developed. I had a clever joke for that earlier, but I just cannot remember it. Oh, I know what it was. I forget who said it, but I love or maybe it was Kim. Our first plan was buy the winning lottery ticket. So we thought we'll shelve that because that's just not going to work. So we're going to have to develop it based on reality, and we'll see what we can come up with. Conclusion. Do you want to do that, or do you want me to continue on?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yep. So a team effort on the conclusion. Really, it's about us sustaining our lifelong presence so we continue the doors of Blessed Sacrament as open and welcoming doors because it is, again, a wonderful legacy place, and all we need to do is some updating and some changing in terms of how we're structured and how we communicate and market. So we do that by transforming our business plan. We do that by coming up with a sustainable model in that plan, conserving all of the resources, but targeting the water savings by getting rid of all of our sod around the, as I think it's 8,000 square feet, and then building the green teams of our students and adults and continuing to do these circle measures that we began today. And so our plan is to be developed. It is in process, but we are making remarkable progress, and our community is behind us. And again, forming this team was the best thing we did. So turn it over to Megan as we are moving ahead full steam.
Well, and that's a point I wanted to bring up, is that I did kind of stumble into this. But I want to thank all of you because I can see out there everyone has the same mission in mind, and that is keeping this Catholic education strong in our diocese and making sure we look at all aspects of it, because it is kind of a business within the education of our future generations. Little but mighty, and she is full steam ahead. And if you're in the education field, you know what that means. It's the new catchword. And so you can even bring this in with our sustainability and our stewardship, and it's very important. We need to pass that on. We need to start with the itty-bitties and the 2s and 3s and work their way up. Science, bringing in testing and evaluation of the resources in different areas. What is our water usage? Getting the children involved in it, because they're the ones that are going to carry this through, and we want them educated so it's not a surprise to them when they become adults. technology, they can always use research into design. We are trying to incorporate a garden club where they can design, research and design their own drip irrigation system, put it back in their hands so they can have ownership of this whole endeavor that we're coming across. Engineering, we want to find out what can be invented, what can they come up with, what can they engineer, for example, solar shades or some kind of playground shade area. Art, trash to treasure. Couldn't get my photo in. The preschoolers recycled their cereal boxes yesterday and made shiny gold crowns. They were so excited. So they were kings of the earth that God gave them. And they were very excited. So anything like that, just right at that stage, starting at all the different levels. Math, what are the results? Show me the numbers. Why is this working? Put that in the children's hands. They'll start to feel pride and ownership in it and understand the concept. Thank you.